Nathan Carter, a young architect in Lagos, Nigeria, was the epitome of success in his field. His designs graced the skylines of the city, and his work was sought after by the elite. Despite the accolades and the financial rewards that came with his career, Nathan felt a void in his life. His office, filled with blueprints and scale models, was a testament to his professional achievements, yet it did little to comfort his lonely heart. He often found himself gazing out of his office window, watching the bustling city below, wondering if there was more to life than work. His friends were getting married, starting families, and moving on to new chapters, but Nathan remained stuck, yearning for something more. He had dated a few women over the years, but none had stirred the depths of his soul. The desire for a deep, meaningful connection gnawed at him, leaving him restless and unfulfilled. One crisp Saturday morning, Nathan decided to take a break from his usual routine. He wandered through the quiet streets of Lekki, drawn to the tranquility that contrasted with the chaotic energy of the city. As he strolled, his eyes were caught by a small, quaint art shop tucked away in a corner. The shop seemed almost hidden, as if it were a secret waiting to be discovered. Curious, Nathan pushed open the door and stepped inside. The air was thick with the scent of oil paints and varnish, a comforting aroma that wrapped around him like a warm embrace. As he moved from one painting to the next, admiring the vibrant colors and intricate brushstrokes, he suddenly stopped in his tracks. Hanging on the far wall was a portrait that took his breath away. The lady in the painting was exquisite, her soft brown eyes seeming to peer into the depths of his soul. Nathan felt an inexplicable connection to her, as though she were beckoning him to uncover the mysteries hidden within her gaze. Unable to tear his eyes away from the portrait, Nathan felt an overwhelming need to learn more about the woman in the painting. He approached the shop's owner, Mr. Peters, a kindly man with silver hair and a gentle smile. Nathan inquired about the identity of the lady in the portrait, his voice tinged with hope. Mr. Peters, however, offered little information. He explained that the painting was a commissioned piece, delivered by an artist whose name was familiar to him but whose subject remained a mystery. The artist had provided no details about the lady, leaving her identity shrouded in uncertainty. Nathan felt a wave of disappointment wash over him. He had hoped for a clue, something that would lead him closer to meeting her. Yet, despite the lack of answers, Nathan couldn't shake the feeling that he was destined to find her. The image of the portrait lingered in his mind, haunting his thoughts and dreams long after he left the shop. As the weeks turned into months, the image of the mysterious lady from the portrait became a constant presence in Nathan's life. Her delicate features and enigmatic smile were etched into his memory, refusing to fade. He found himself returning to the art shop several times, each visit fueled by a desperate hope that somehow, he would discover something new about her. But each time, Mr. Peters had no new information to offer. Nathan's days became a blur of routine, his work and social life feeling more mundane than ever before. His friends noticed the change in him, often asking why he seemed so distant, but Nathan couldn't bring himself to explain. How could he describe the pull he felt toward a woman he had never met, someone who only existed in a painting? Despite the uncertainty, Nathan held on to the belief that their paths would cross one day. It was a hope that kept his heart alive, even as doubt threatened to overshadow it. One evening, after another long day of drafting designs and meeting clients, Nathan decided to attend an art exhibition on Victoria Island. He needed a break from the monotony of his life, and the invitation to the exhibition felt like the perfect escape. As he entered the gallery, he was greeted by a dazzling array of artwork, paintings, sculptures, and photographs that captured the beauty of the world from countless perspectives. Nathan moved through the gallery, taking in each piece with a discerning eye, yet nothing seemed to capture his attention for long. That was until he turned a corner and saw her. Standing near a painting, engaged in conversation with another guest, was the woman from the portrait. Nathan's heart raced as he realized she was real, not just a figment of the artist's imagination. She was even more beautiful in person, her presence commanding the room in a way that made everything else fade into the background. For a moment, Nathan stood frozen, unable to believe his eyes. After what felt like an eternity, Nathan managed to compose himself. He knew this might be his only chance to speak with her, so he summoned every ounce of courage he had and approached her. "Excuse me," he began, his voice betraying the nervousness he felt, "but I believe I've seen you before. There's a portrait of you in an art shop in Lekki." The lady turned to face him, her eyes meeting his with a mix of curiosity and warmth. Her smile, the same one that had captivated him in the painting, lit up her face. "Oh, that portrait," she exclaimed with a light laugh. "My name is Emily Blake. The artist is a friend of mine, and he painted it a few months ago. I had no idea it was in a shop." Nathan felt a sense of relief wash over him. Not only had he found her, but she was also friendly and approachable. They introduced themselves properly, and soon, the conversation flowed effortlessly between them. Nathan discovered that Emily shared many of his interests: art, travel, and a love for music. The connection he had felt with the portrait was real, and now, standing before her, it deepened with every word they exchanged. As the evening progressed, Nathan and Emily found themselves immersed in conversation. They drifted from one topic to another, discovering shared passions and common ground. Nathan was struck by how easy it was to talk to her, how natural their connection felt. Emily was not only beautiful but also intelligent and kind, with a warmth that drew him in. She spoke about her love for art, her travels around the world, and her dreams for the future. Nathan listened intently, captivated by her every word. The gallery buzzed with activity around them, but to Nathan, it felt like they were in their own little world. As the exhibition drew to a close, Nathan knew he didn't want the evening to end. He gathered the courage to ask for her contact information, hoping they could meet again. Emily, with a smile that made his heart skip a beat, readily agreed. They exchanged phone numbers, and as they said their goodbyes, Nathan felt a sense of excitement and anticipation that he hadn't felt in a long time. In the weeks that followed, Nathan and Emily spent more time together, each date bringing them closer. They explored Lagos together, visiting art galleries, trying out new restaurants, and sharing stories from their lives. With every passing day, Nathan found himself falling deeper in love with Emily. She was everything he had been searching for: kind, thoughtful, and incredibly supportive of his work. Emily, too, felt a strong connection with Nathan. She admired his passion for architecture, his dedication to his craft, and the way he treated her with respect and affection. Despite the growing feelings between them, Nathan was careful not to rush things. He cherished every moment they spent together, wanting to build a strong foundation for their relationship. However, as much as he enjoyed their time together, he couldn't help but think about the future. Nathan knew that Emily was the woman he wanted to spend the rest of his life with, but he was unsure of how to express this without overwhelming her. Feeling uncertain about how to move forward, Nathan sought advice from his older brother, Matthew. Matthew had been married for 10 years and had always been someone Nathan looked up to. Over a cup of coffee, Nathan shared his thoughts and feelings with his brother, explaining how deeply he cared for Emily and how he wanted to take their relationship to the next level. Matthew listened patiently, nodding as Nathan spoke. When Nathan finished, Matthew offered his advice with the wisdom of experience. "Nathan," he began, "if you truly love her, you'll know when the time is right. Don't rush things. Let the relationship develop naturally. If she's the one, you'll both feel it when the moment comes." Nathan took his brother's words to heart. He realized that there was no need to hurry. Instead, he focused on being present with Emily, supporting her dreams, and deepening their connection. Over time, this patience and understanding helped their relationship flourish even more, strengthening the bond they shared. One day, Nathan decided to take Emily back to the place where it all began, the art shop in Lekki. He wanted to show her the portrait and share with her the story of how it had led him to her. They walked hand in hand through the streets, eventually arriving at the small shop that had become so significant in Nathan's life. As they entered, Nathan felt a rush of emotions. He led Emily to the back of the shop, where the portrait still hung, just as mesmerizing as the first time he saw it. Standing before the painting, Nathan recounted the day he had first seen it, explaining how he had felt an instant connection to her, even though he didn't know her name. Emily listened, her eyes softening with emotion as Nathan shared how the portrait had ignited a hope in him that one day he would meet her. She smiled, touched by his words, and turned to look at the portrait. "It's strange, isn't it?" she said softly, "how a single image can change everything. I never imagined that painting would lead to this." Nathan smiled back, feeling the depth of their connection grow even stronger. He took her hand in his and continued, "That portrait brought you into my life, and I'm so grateful for that. Emily, from the moment I saw you, I knew you were someone special. You've changed my life in ways I can't even begin to describe." Emily's eyes glistened with tears of happiness as Nathan knelt down in front of her, right there in the middle of the art shop. Reaching into his pocket, he pulled out a small box and opened it to reveal a simple yet elegant ring. "Emily," he said, his voice filled with emotion, "will you marry me?" For a brief moment, the world seemed to stand still. Emily looked at him, overwhelmed with joy. With a radiant smile, she nodded and whispered, "Yes, Nathan, I will."